Good evening, everyone. Welcome to our first in-person meeting since COVID. My name is Emily Singer-Lucio. I am the ANC5A Chair. I'm going to call the meeting to order. It is 6:50 p.m. Commissioner Sosa Garnica, can you please establish a quorum?
Absolutely.
Present.
Commissioner Thomas,
Present.
Commissioner Lucio,
Present.
Commissioner Hermes.
Present.
5A05 is vacant. Commissioner Holloway.
Present.
5A07 is present. Commissioner Alston
Present.
and Commissioner Bakum. Present.
Great. We have a quorum. Thank you all very much. Commissioners, you have the agenda in front of you. Commissioner Sosa Garnica, if you can put the agenda in the chat. People on the Zoom, I just want to let you know that we have made one change, that we are going to allow questions and answers, and then the chat is going to be from us. If you need to reach us, you may go to Commissioner Sosa Garnica. Commissioners, you have the agenda in front of you. I'm going to add one thing that we talked about earlier, which is the change in the meeting date, which we will discuss in a second. So aside from that, there are no other changes to my knowledge. Can I get a motion to approve the agenda?
I put a motion on the floor. We approve the minute.
So the motion was made by Commissioner Thomas and seconded by Commissioner Alston. All in favor? Opposed? Okay, motion passes. Thank you. Okay, commissioners, you also have now, we're on commission business. So the first item I'm going to just touch base on is the one I just mentioned. Residents, so for your knowledge, in January, when we approved the meeting dates, we had switched the November meeting date because it was the week of Thanksgiving to the first Wednesday in December. However, due to the fact that that is the meeting of the North Michigan Park Civic Association, we have decided to move that meeting from December 3rd to November 26th, or sorry, November 19th. So just to recap, it was originally scheduled for November 26th. That would be our normal meeting date. In January, we moved it to December 3rd, and now we are going to agree to move it to November 19th, so it doesn't conflict with the North Michigan Park Civic Association meeting. Commissioners, can I get a motion to approve that?
I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
Okay, motion was made by Commissioner Alston, seconded by Commissioner Bakum to move the meeting date. All in favor? Opposed? Thank you. Commissioners, you have in front of you the minutes. You were sent to you in advance the minutes of June 25th, and also the special meeting on September 14th. Let's do one at a time. Commissioners, any understanding that there were a couple changes made right before the meeting by email. We understand that, so we will include those in the update. Can I get a motion to approve the June 25th, 2025 minutes?
I'll second.
Okay, motion made by Commissioner Alston, seconded by Commissioner Holloway. All in favor? All opposed? Okay, that motion passes. Same thing with the minutes from the special meeting. There were a couple minor changes that were sent to everybody by email earlier tonight. So can I get a motion to approve the minute with the changes from September 4th? Okay, motion made by Commissioner Alston, seconded
I'll second.
by Commissioner Holloway. All in favor? Okay, thank you so much. Commissioner Bakum, you have the floor for the treasurer's report.
Okay. Can someone put it on the screen? Okay. All right, so.
Do you have are you on Zoom? You're gonna unmute yourself?
Okay. And my camera's not working. Okay, can you hear me?
Yes,
Okay.
can you hear me? Yeah, I have my sound up too. Okay, I'm gonna assume that they can hear you. Go ahead.
Okay, so quarterly financial report for Q3, which is April, May, June of 2025. We started off with 103,095.69. And we received 5,828.75. And we spent 2,115 for direct office.
For communications, we spent
893.43. For office supplies, we spent $3,393.24. For grants, in Q3, we spent $5,810. For purchase of service, we spent $266.31. So total disbursements was $17,377.98. We ended the quarter with $91,546.46. And this will be put on the website with all the details.
Okay, do you need a motion to approve the budget?
Yes.
I make a motion to approve the budget.
Okay, that's the budget, correct? You said?
This is the quarterly
I'm
financial
sorry, that
report.
wasn't the order of the
Oh,
item on
I'm
the
sorry.
agenda. That's okay. I was gonna say, I didn't think that was the
Oh,
budget. Okay,
okay.
so that we're out of order, just to make sure that's
Okay.
clarified, people. So that's the third quarter financial report. Okay, Commissioner Olson, now you made a motion?
Yeah.
Commissioner Olson made a motion to accept the third quarter financial report. Can I get a second?
I second.
Commissioner Thomas seconds. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. The motion passes. Commissioner, Bokum, are you going to do the budget now?
Yes,
Thank
yes.
you.
Okay. So for FY 26, I'm proposing these caps for, relatively high caps for the various categories, just so that we don't have to come back. This doesn't mean that we are planning on spending this much necessarily, but for personnel, I put 6,000. For direct office costs, I put 5,000. For communication, I put 8,000. For office supplies, I put 4,000. For grants, I put 40,000. For local transportation and childcare, I put 500. For purchase of service, I put 10,000. And for bank charges, 100, and miscellaneous, 1,400. The total is 75,000. That is about what we have in the bank account right now, and we're gonna be getting close to 25,000 during the course of FY 26. So that's why I put it relatively high. So it's more than we're gonna be getting in the year, but it's sitting in the bank account. So that's why I put some money for grants, so we can, do some activities. Hopefully the community will come forward with some great grant requests.
Yeah, Commissioner Bokum, a quick question. Are there any significant changes from the previous year?
The grants has increased.
That's it.
That's pretty much it.
Okay. Anything else that is adjusted or anything?
I think I had 0 for personnel before, and now it's 6,000, just because we're still going back and forth
Mhm.
about whether we're gonna hire somebody.
Mhm.
But we have purchase of service at 10,000. So a person could be under a purchase of service or under personnel.
Okay, and what about technology? Because this year we made a pretty large investment in technology that I don't anticipate we'll need next year, correct?
True, but communication is a broad category. We could use it to do postcards or any kind of communication.
Okay, so that's all under that one
Yeah,
category. Okay.
yep.
Okay. All right, commissioners, any other questions from the group?
Have several.
Okay, go ahead, Commissioner.
Is it confirmed with the mayor's budget? Are we getting the same amount of money this year as we've had in the past for all ANCs?
I did not have access to that information. I've been in touch with OANC, but they said they're gonna have that available like October 1st.
Yeah, we won't have it until later this year than we have had in the past.
Well, I'm just, with all the budget cuts, I'm just concerned that will the city be cutting ANC budgets across the board?
Even if
It's
they
just the
do,
unknown.
even if they do, this is less than what we have in the bank currently.
Okay, and then someone texted me and wanted to know if we can enable the chats.
We cannot. Commissioner Aramis, do you want to explain why we're not enabling the chat just for the moment, real quick?
Sure. Can someone else unmute just because my audio is messed up?
I'm unmuted.
Okay,
so-
great. So we, to the request of one of the commissioners, spoke with
Q&A.
General Counsel Denise Whitaker, and under the Freedom of Information Act, basically, we cannot enable the chat because that would be entered into the official record of any meeting. And because we don't have ways of, one, logging that, and then 2, we would then be having people, if they're on Zoom, basically
Yeah.
interrupting commissioners as they're talking, as it would have to reflect under the minutes. We sort of came to the consensus, but particularly under the guise of what our general counsel said, that we would not be enabling the chat, just because, again, we want to allow people to really speak out publicly to everyone for what they have to say, and sort of avoid sort of like behind the scenes chatter of what's going on. Because, again, people that send things in the chat probably don't want that to be released as like public information. So that's sort of the rationale that our general counsel gave us.
Thank you, Commissioner Ramirez. And just to be clear, you can go under chat and message directly to Commissioner Sosa Garnica. And she's happy to respond if you have a chat, and she's also happy to share comments if they're relevant. Okay, so I'm sorry, Commissioner. Sorry,
Dollars?
Sellers, yes. Did you have further questions?
No, I was just responding to a neighbor who was
Okay.
asking about the chats.
Okay, Commissioner Holloway has a question.
I do have a question. In regards to what was, sent from the, general counsel, I also got an email in reference to the chat, so I'm not really comprehending.
Okay,
Are we actually not letting people use the chat?
Can we-
Is it just a question?
can we table this for the
Table
moment, because we're actually on the process of discussing the budget. I just diverted quickly to try and address that since someone had asked. I appreciate the comment, we'll get back to that. So, does anybody have any other questions related to the budget for Commissioner Bakum? Okay, Commissioner Bakum, do you have a motion you'd like to make in regard to the budget?
I'd like to move that we pass this FY26 budget as proposed.
Okay, so motion was made by Commissioner Bakum, seconded by Commissioner Alston. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Okay, Commissioner Bakum, you have one other thing related to the grant guidelines.
Yes, okay. So we did increase the grant, thank you very much, to 40,000. We will be updating our website soon, but in the meantime, we wanted to provide the community with some updated grant guidelines. The prohibition on food, beverages, and entertainment has been rescinded. ANC5A cannot purchase these items directly, but grantees can. You can purchase food, beverages, and entertainment if it's part of a larger community event. The previous cap of 2,500 has also been lifted. Grant requests of any amount will be considered on a case-by-case basis. We have information on our website, and there's also information on the OANC website. There's a list of successful grants if you want to take a look and see some grants that have been successful. So please feel free to contact me if you have any questions whatsoever.
Thank you, Commissioner Bakum. Okay, let me deviate from the agenda real quick and address Commissioner Holloway's question. Commissioner Hermes, do you want to
I'm
just,
sorry, I didn't hear the.
yep, Commissioner Holloway, do you want to repeat your question?
Well, I just want to distinguish, because I have email that I sent to everyone from the, council down there who, Commissioner Hennessy spoke to. I just wanted to know, are we just limiting the chat to asking questions or the comments? That's what I.
We're disabling it completely.
Altogether?
And yeah, and if they'd like, they can make comments to the secretary,
Right.
who will in turn relay, but.
So that's the email that I got.
Yeah.
Yes, right. And so the Zoom has the ability to create a Q&A or have the chat go directly to one person. So if somebody wants to submit a question or ask something, it will go to Commissioner Sosa Garnica, and then she can go through it and she can respond if necessary. Does that clarify?
Can everyone hear us in the audience, in the Zoom? Can they hear us?
I'll turn mine up.
Can everyone hear us in the Zoom? Oh, I hear there's a feedback.
Yeah.
Okay,
We're good.
great. Okay, great. Thank you. Okay, I see some thumbs up. Great, perfect. Thank you. We are trying to work out the technology as we're doing this, and we wanted, oh, now we're on camera. Great, and I wanted to start on time, so that's good too. All right. I think I'm gonna turn off my audio now, right? Okay, all right. Can everybody on Zoom hear me still? Did I get a thumbs up? Can people hear me? Okay, great. Okay, because I muted myself, so there wasn't a feedback. Okay, fantastic. Okay, so now we're gonna go into the commission action items and updates. And so we have a number of them, and we're going to go in order of the commissions. So, Commissioner, Sellers, yes, I gotcha. We have, BZA 21365 about 701 Jefferson Street Northeast. Would you like to share with the community what that's about and present that? Thank you.
Yes, this is for a accessory dwelling unit, zoning request, rezoning request. I had a meeting in my single member district this past, Wednesday, community, from, Holland and Knight, and also from Cheryl Rich from 701 Jefferson Street. They presented all in favor of this zoning adjustment, which is adding a unit, accessory dwelling unit above existing garage?
Can you speak up a little bit?
Can you hear me now? Thank you. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Yes. 701 Jefferson Street, Cheryl Rich, the neighbor, is asking for a adjustment for zoning to add accessory dwelling unit. We had a meeting this past Wednesday, presentation from Holland and Knight, the attorney, as well as the resident. And the community all approved in favor of making this adjustment.
Okay.
And so she's here today. Did you want to say anything?
She'll need a microphone.
Yep. Chris, I want to get you on camera. You can come up.
Good evening.
Good evening.
My name is Cheryl Rich. Again, I'm seeking relief for the zoning. It's up on the screen with regards to the property. Basically, the permitting stated that it was like 2 or 3 things out of regulation. And one of them was 8 feet wide from the street to the ADU. One and the other was the alley was only, it had to be 24 feet, but it's only 16 feet. Or I was 300 feet away from the public on the alley. So basically, hello? Stop. Okay. So basically, the unit will be used for traveling nurses or similar occupations that need some temporary housing. It won't be for Airbnb while I'm living there, because I will be living in the house. Also, I can't really see my screen, but I'm just creating a multi-generational home. Thank you. I'm creating a generational home for the house, for my children in the future. And the tenant will have access to the parking pad, which is on the bottom, with or without a car. Also, above the unit, the top portion will be party board plank siding, and the bottom will maintain its brick red. It's red, so it'll maintain red. So it'll be like a dark charcoal or dark blue. I haven't yet decided. But other than that,
So it's staying consistent sort of with the other properties in
Correct.
the neighborhood, okay?
correct.
And just to be clear, you're not renting this out as an Airbnb or anything, you're just using it for traveling nurses, but keeps your property right in your ownership.
Correct.
Okay, and the neighbors are all good with it?
Yes.
You don't anticipate any other additional parking issues with extra people living there or anything, right?
No.
And they're all aware of the local parking requirements, like in-state
Yes.
registration and all that? Okay.
Correct.
Okay, Commissioner Sellers, would you like to make a motion?
I would like to make a motion to approve. Hello? Yes. I'd like to make a motion to approve the rezoning of this parcel at 701 Jefferson Street.
I second it.
Okay, so a motion was made by Commissioner Sellers and seconded by,
Commissioner.
thank you, Commissioner Alston. And there are any other questions from commissioners? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. Commissioner Sellers, if you can get me a letter to sign, and let me know who it needs to be sent to, I will go ahead and do that and copy you all on it. And then thank you very much, ma'am, for coming tonight and presenting. I appreciate it.
The zoning meeting in November.
Yep, so thank you. We'll get it to them in time. Yep, I just need to get the letter in time. Okay, okay, next item is on 5A02, Commissioner Thomas, on the Boys Town application for the large tract review. Is there someone here to present?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, go ahead, Mr. Commissioner
Okay,
Thomas. Go ahead.
good afternoon, once again, my colleagues here. Boys Town Development, which is located at 4801 Stardon Road in Northeast Washington. September the 10th, we had a meeting with the Office of Planning about the large tract review. It went very well. And so this evening, Boys Town is here again to talk about the large tract review. We have Mr. Ted here, who's here from Atlantic Urban Development to talk about it. Ted, you have 15 minutes.
Yeah, you're gonna need to come forward to be on
You'll be on
camera.
front. You'll take a-
Do you have slides?
Yeah, I have the same, I have a
Could you
presentation.
email them to us so we have them?
Yes, I can. I also just requested access to share. Oh,
Oh, great, okay.
Oh,
Yeah, he still needs to email you a copy.
Yes.
Yes,
Yeah.
we'll still need a copy, but yes, if
course.
you have presenter access, you can do it. Thank you.
all right. Am I okay here? Do you want, is it gonna mess up the audio?
No.
Oh, beautiful. All right. And it looks like I am sharing. Well, thank you very much, ANC5A, for having me. My name is Teddy Swift. I'm a director with Urban Atlantic, here to talk about the Boys Town redevelopment at 4801 Sergeant Road in 5A02. As Commissioner Thomas just mentioned, we presented out the same presentation about 2 weeks ago on the large tract review application. Large tract review is a process through the District Office of Planning. If you have a site larger than 3 acres that requires subdivision, they put you automatically through large tract review. The Office of Planning has since sent out their report from that application that is available. If you contact us, it's also available on the city's website, and I'm happy to direct anyone to that link. The proposal is for remaining consistent with the current zoning of R2 zone for semi-detached houses with inclusionary zoning. So semi-detached are side-by-side duplex, pretty consistent with the existing character of the neighborhood. The total parcel is 12 acres, and there will be, as I mentioned, 166 of those with 17 inclusionary zoning units available for houses earning 80% AMI. We have given a number of presentations to both the ANC and different civic associations to date, and we take to heart a lot of the feedback we've heard. The primary areas of interest that we have heard to date are around preservation of green space and density, stormwater management and mitigating downstream impacts, increased traffic and street parking, preservation of the existing parking along Delafield Alley, the trees along Delafield Alley, and then overall community benefits. We're weighing each of these as we advance our design, and really appreciate the feedback we've received to date. It's really been a great opportunity to work with the neighbors. Just for those who don't know exactly where the site is, Boys Town, like I mentioned, was operating out of 4801 Sergeant Road. They have since, back in 2024, left the premises and moved their operations out of the district altogether. The site is adjacent to St. Anselm's Abbey School to the south and neighbors along Delafield to the north. Through this process and as part of the large tract review application, we have been coordinating with DDOT to analyze intersections around the site and the traffic, any traffic impacts to those intersections. That traffic study is part of the DDOT report. I encourage everyone who is interested to go and read it, and we can answer any questions regarding it. Here you can see our proposed site plan. And it has a couple key elements. The first is the preservation of the existing Boys Town structure. And it was actually St. Gertrude School of Arts and Crafts structure built back in 1928. That is the big structure that you probably can see from the road. And as you can see in the middle here, we are preserving a large central green around that existing structure to really celebrate it. And then we're proposing one single entryway off of Sergeant Road, following the existing alignment, keeping that beautiful array of trees. And as I mentioned, we are proposing only duplexes, all completely by right within the district's zoning code. The existing site conditions for those who have driven by the site, I'm sure you've noticed those large two mounds of grass. They're grassy hills right on the site. That is fill from the Fort Totten Metro that was brought to the site in the 1980s. And that's causing a lot of the issues that both the neighbors to the south and the north are seeing now, and especially with stormwater, because it essentially just blocks the natural flow of stormwater, and large high slopes, it drains quickly off of it. Our proposal is to essentially get it back to its organic grade, its natural grade, as much as possible. So we'll be taking those hills off. The picture in the bottom left here, you can see that center of a lay of trees that we're keeping. We think it's a really fantastic resource for both the community and the future development. And then you can see some scrub. This is the characteristic of a lot of the trees, especially around the perimeter of the site. That's the two images in the bottom. And then lastly, the home that I mentioned that was built in 1928 that we'll be preserving in the bottom right. Right now, the site is fully fenced in. That is one thing that we'll be doing away with. We'll be removing the fence around the entire site and opening it up to the public. Quick history on the site. Back in 1928, like I mentioned, St. Gertrude School opened with the original schoolhouse, and it was a school for young women with disabilities, and it was focused on arts and crafts, which is really incredible mission. It stayed like that for a number of years. In 1966, in the 60s, 70s, they started to expand with that really 60s style architecture administration building that's on site, 1 story. And then the 80s, like I mentioned, they accepted the fill from Fort Totten Metro. In 1993, Father Flanagan's Boys Home opened a nonprofit for children suffering from abuse, addiction, and abandonment on the site, and in the subsequent years built those homes that you can see on the right in the blue and the purple. There's 5 homes in total. Unfortunately, while they're beautiful, they don't really, they're tough to reuse because they were built for a very specific purpose, which is sort of small dormitory housing. And that purpose has become outdated here. The site plan has evolved a lot, both with feedback from the ANC, Office of Planning, HPO, and really, the main things we've been focused on are circulation around this site, safe circulation for both pedestrians and more natural vehicular circulation around the site, and really opening up and celebrating that historic home and the Catholic heritage to that home. And you can see that in both the architecture and the landscape architecture that we've proposed around it. Here, just walking you through a couple of renderings to give you a sense of what the site's going to look and feel like. We are looking from up above down at the historic home and the proposed duplexes along the entry drive. Here, it's a closer look at the historic home and that central green that's going to, again, be open to the public. With landscape architecture that's really reminiscent of the Catholic institutions in the area. Here, just more images of the homes and the muse between the homes to give a sense of spacing, greenery. Replacing trees, bringing landscaping into the site is going to be very important here. And then this is looking north on Sargent Road at the homes along Sargent. And you can see those large trees that we're preserving within the right of way. And then lastly, this is as if you're a neighbor across the site looking down the main entry drive with those homes on Sargent Road. Just quickly to get to comment, we are proposing a connection to the North Michigan Park Recreation Center. We think that pedestrian permeability is really important here. We've committed to studying that and providing for it. The DC public schools, we've looked at the schools in the area and have found that they all have capacity for the amount of units that we will be bringing on. Our subdivision plan, as discussed, we're going completely by right. The roads on the site will be private roads with public access easements. So any pedestrian vehicular circulation around the site that's meant for public use, not lead walks to homes, will be covered on a public access easement. So So folks can freely enter the site whenever they want. And then lastly, this is really pointing out to the pedestrian circulation. It's over, it's just about a mile of sidewalks and trails, both on street and off street. You can see that in the blue lines here. Really focused on allowing pedestrian permeability and then people to move safely off the street through the site. The one just note for people to be aware of, the site will be phased. So we're going to be working through the site nonstop, but it's going to happen in phases. We don't go and build all of the homes over the next 6 months. We have to work our way through the site and people will move in and then we'll go to the next part. So it's going to happen in roughly 7 phases. And then for just a quick project update, since we've last given this presentation, as I mentioned, the Office of Planning has issued their large tract review report, and that has allowed us to move forward with schematic design of the site and submit our plans for subdivision. So this is just the next step of engineering.
Thank you.
Yep.
I have a couple questions and we'll take them from the commissioners, and if there's any questions from residents, we'll take them after that.
Perfect.
You answered a lot of my questions, so thank you.
Yeah.
A couple questions. The height of the homes. When we worked with the EYA development at the townhomes at Michigan Park and also with the townhomes at 801 Buchanan, one of the things we made sure of is that the height was relatively level to the existing homes that were in the neighborhood. Are you looking at that at all in terms of the height of the properties?
So I haven't studied the homes in the existing neighborhoods,
Okay.
but like I mentioned, we're going completely by right. And there are 3-story homes, no roof decks, no upper levels. They're all just 3-story homes.
Okay. Because I mean, I think that's one of the things that the residents in the area like is consistency. We don't want things to look too out of place. I understand it's a by right. So as much as you can keep that in mind, I think that would be helpful.
For sure.
Second question is, are you working with the residents in terms of, well, the area? I understand there's parking on the development, right? But we want to make sure that it doesn't flow out onto the street and prevent current residents from having a place to park in front of their homes where they currently do. So I know in the past with other projects, again, we've worked on zone parking. Are we looking at that?
And we brought that up to DDOT and include that in our initial communications with them, and they seem to be in favor of it.
Great. And my final question is timeline. Once you are able to start demolition, what's your proposed timeline from demolition to first phase construction?
So
Or I should say completion of first phase construction.
Completion of first phase construction. So rough terms, demolition site prep will take about 6 months. And then the first homes will be built. And I would say the first phase would take another maybe 2 quarters, 6 months from there. And in total, it is about three years
For the total project.
for the total project. Yep.
So you're anticipating each phase, and how many phases were there? There were
Showed 7.
Great.
It's really about 12 units a quarter, 12 homes a quarter.
Got it. So, okay, so every 6 months there'll be another phase.
Yeah,
Total phase.
exactly.
Okay. Okay. All right. Thank you. Any commissioners, Commissioner Sellers?
Did you state what's the average square footage of the homes?
They are 2,500, call it, square feet.
And how many 3 bedrooms versus 4 and 5?
So they're 3-bedroom standards with the optional for a 4th bedroom.
So no 5 bedrooms.
No 5 bedrooms.
And how many visitor parking spaces are on the site?
So we have, in the order of magnitude of 20 dedicated visitors parking spaces with additional optional spaces in between the units on permeable pavers in between each of the units. Since they're duplexes, there's a lot of parking pads in there.
I guess my concern in that this was brought up in previous meetings is that you said 20 visitor parking spaces on the site?
Dedicated visitor parking spaces with as in perpendicular parking. There's also opportunities for parallel parking on the streets, just like people do on basically every street in the district.
What is that number?
I'd have to get back to you on that.
My biggest concern is that these are pretty large dwellings and family units.
Mhm.
and that people are gonna be entertaining. They have family, they can be having gatherings, a bigger home. They're gonna be inviting folks over, and 20 parking spaces just doesn't seem like this is kind of a suburban style development. It's a great development.
Yep.
My concern is that, are you gonna have enough parking to accommodate that? That coupled with, and I know this was brought up as well, there's only one entrance going in and out. And I know it was brought up. It is a concern. You did mention the pedestrian access to Delafield Street going towards the rec center. I just think from my experience living in another separate neighborhood, there's always ambulances and fire trucks coming. And if something happens in the morning, it's just people aren't going to be able to get out.
Yeah, no, I certainly appreciate that. And it's included in our report, what to study a second intersection, look at the loading, look at the impacts. And we've provided, if that is the route that ultimately, if everyone thinks it's best to go, we've provided for space on the plan here, just in the very top right here. We actually removed one of those homes so that if needed, we can add a second one.
On the top of towards the
very top
Road.
left. It'd be still on Sergeant Road. We have no other access to public street right of way.
And that would just be a study, or to repeat that, what you said, if you removed the home, what would happen?
We'd be able to add a second, or we have removed a home so that we can add a second access, and we are currently studying that with DDOT and with our traffic engineer.
There's no way to do an entrance on the 13th and Delafield?
Right onto the Delafield alley, there's too much topography there for us to make a vehicular
I think that's a
connection.
good point that Commissioner Sellers made.
It just seems really tight.
It does.
Yep.
Yeah, it does. One other question, Commissioner Sellers, are you good? What about, I'm sorry, did you mention inclusionary zoning?
Yes,
How many units are you doing in inclusionary zoning?
17.
And that's over the recommended amount?
It is 10% inclusionary zone and option. So
And
we
you're
are
doing
at,
17.
yeah, we're at 10.2%, something like that.
Is there any chance you would consider doing more than that?
I don't think so. No.
Okay, I mean, housing is at a premium in this area. It's very expensive, as we saw firsthand from the EYA development. What it was proposed at didn't end up being what the selling price was by the time they went up to market.
Yep.
And we have a lot of residents in this neighborhood who are very concerned about that. Is there anything that you all can do potentially to work with the current residents to ensure that their property taxes do not go up?
That's something I'd have to get back to. I'm just not.
Can you
I don't know
look-
what that would look
If you
like.
could look into that, I
Yeah.
think that'd be helpful, because I think that's another major concern of residents in this area with all the new developments coming up is that the impact of that on their property taxes. So we'd want to make sure that there was something for seniors or low-income residents so that did not impact them negatively.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I'll get back to you on that.
Yeah, okay, great. Commissioners, other questions? Commissioner Miss?
Yeah, thank you, first of all, for coming. Big fan of this project. Beautiful buildings. Is the main sort of Boys Town home area, first off, the main original building,
Yep.
how many stories is that?
That is 4 stories
Okay,
right now.
so that, I guess, considering that, I think that 3 stories is perfectly reasonable for the development. And then I guess, what will that main building be used for? Will it be sort of that's like historical placard, or are you actually going to use it for some sort of operations?
We'll use it for we will look for a very likely owner user, small, some sort of small office, nonprofit. We have to study that, but the business plan is to sell it to some compatible use.
Okay, that's awesome. I would just then, I mean, again, big fan of the project. My only thing would be maybe like having some sort of, talk to Vicky about this, like historical plaque or something that just, again, commemorates what happened here and how awesome.
For sure.
its history
And
is.
we've agreed to work with HPO and DC Preservation League to actually register the building as a historic landmark at the end of the process.
Beware of DCPL.
Yeah.
Okay, we're gonna have to wrap this up. We have one more kind of question from a commissioner. We have one hand up in the audience on Zoom, and we have one in the audience. Okay, Commissioner Alston.
Oh, yeah, thank you for coming again too. I'd like to know that, have you talked to the surrounding people who live in that area to ensure them that as you do your, thank you, as you do your construction, right? That their houses, if they're damaged in any way, that you will be responsible for repairing their houses.
Yeah, so we've made contact with maybe not all of our neighbors, but a number of them, including meeting them back in the Delafield Alley. We will make sure everyone has our contact info from now through the end of construction, and if there's any issues that we're available.
Can I suggest that you do seismic monitoring testing prior to construction and then be available to do additional seismic monitor testing during the course of construction as needed to address the issue that Commissioner Alston is asking about?
Okay, I'll look into that as well.
Thank you.
I have another question. Do you have two buildings that you're going to be trying to use and not tear down the original two buildings that are up there?
Just the one main original building. Just
The one main,
Yep.
okay. Because I was thinking that if it was someplace else, if there was another building, we could use that building for more affordable housing. You know, tear that building down if it's not going to be used.
Yep.
So we can get more affordable housing. And then I have another question that as far as the height is concerned, if you put basements in the building, you will be able to accommodate the same height of the buildings that are there already.
Yeah, the plans don't require the actual building plans with the builder that we're using don't allow for basements, a drive-in garage. So I don't think we'll look at basements, but we will study the height. And as Jack mentioned, you know, it's consistent with the character of the existing building on the site.
Now, I just want to say one other thing, that it's very important, like Jack said, that you have more parking.
Yep.
At least you should have, like, if you got 10 or 15 for one section, each section should have more parking, the same amount.
Yeah,
Instead of just one.
I'll go back and study the amount of you know, actual parking that we think, visitor parking that the site accommodates.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, yes. We have one question online that I want to ask real quick, and then we'll go to there. I'm gonna rephrase this question. Are you going to do any modifications or adaptations to homes for individuals who need accessibility for elderly or people with disabilities?
Yeah, so I believe that is in the home builder standard package. So I would have to think, but I can't say affirmatively, but I really would think so. And I can get back to you on that
Okay,
as
yeah,
well.
if you can get back to us on that, that'd be great. And
Yep.
then we have a question in the audience. Do we have, yes.
Yes, ma'am.
She needs a microphone though.
Ms. Tracy, I think we had two. What was this?
Good evening. I just want, well, first I want to welcome Urban Atlantic. I think what you all doing is fabulous. I live right across the street and I look forward to you all coming. My second thing is I'm not familiar with IZ, but I really want to get familiar with it. So is that something that I will work with you, or I have to go down to the IZ office? Can you just point me in the right direction or just help me figure it out, please?
Thank you. Oh, God. Thank you. Yes, I can absolutely give you more information on what that program looks like. Yeah.
Okay, is there any other question? Okay, and this was not an action item. This was just an information, so. Anything else,
Thank you
Commissioner?
very much for coming out this evening.
Thank you. We
Thank you very
appreciate
much.
it. If you
Okay.
can get back to us in the future with some answers to the questions we asked, that would be great. Thank you. Okay, the next, oh, I'm sorry, there is one question. Yeah, no, yeah, that's me.
Hi, I put my question in the Q&A.
Can't hear her. How does that work? We've got a question on the Zoom.
Oh.
It's what? No, we can't read it. She's speaking.
I put my question in the Q&A.
Oh, okay. Thank you, Uchenna. Okay, so we've answered your question?
No.
Oh. Let me look and see. It's not in the chat. Oh, I
We
see it.
can't use
Oh,
the
where is
chat. I
it?
put it
Okay,
in the
where is it?
Q&A.
Okay, all right, so the question is do you know if historically the hilly terrain was built to migrate flooding or any other structural issues?
The hilly terrain really was, I think, a ill-advised, quick money solution to accept excavation from the Fort Cotton Metro Station by the users at the time. There's real no other reason for it.
Okay, thank you. And then also, did the ANC submit a report to Office of Planning, and can the link to the Office of Planning report put in the chat? Did we submit a report to the Office of Planning?
Did we- yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we did submit a letter to the Office of Planning, and it is on the website, or it should be on the website.
Yeah.
If it's not, please let me know and I'll make sure it is.
I have one more question.
Yes, go ahead. And then we need to wrap this up.
Okay, my question is, could you, when you come back or before you come back, let us know how many soil holes that you have on the property and how many fire hydrants that you have on the property, as well as the, more than one way in, because I've paid for somebody's house to catch on fire at the end of the street and there's no fire hydrant there.
Yeah, so we are just starting the next level of detailed of engineering, and that will absolutely include that level of detail. And we'll make sure to send the plans and that information.
These new homes that you're building, will they have sprinklers?
It's a requirement.
Yeah, I believe they are sprinkled.
It's a requirement.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you. Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, so the next item, there isn't a presentation, commissioners. This is just an action item for my single member district 5A03, the Conway Education Center, which is the updated Kennedy Center School. They have asked for support in, they need to close a small section of Buchanan. It's between 8th and 10th. It's not the entire place between 8th and 10th, but it's between 8th and 10th to do underground utility work. It will not be closed all day. It will only be closed from 9:30 a.m. to 3:30 p.m. So it will not impact pickup and drop off at the current Kennedy School. It's scheduled to start the 29th, which is very soon, and last for 5 weeks. And again, it'll be limited Monday to Friday. When they are not doing the work, the road will be covered with boards or plates so that people will still be able to drive down that road after those hours. The residents will not be able to park on that street during the time of construction. They will be able to park there after 3:30 until the next morning before 9:30. Most of those residents, not all, but most of the residents have parking behind their homes. And I had spoken to the residents. This is going to directly impact. The company is also going to be sending out a notice to each resident within 200 feet. So commissioners, we need to send a letter to the Department of Transportation saying that we are okay with this and that residents have been notified. And I've been, as I said, been in touch with all of those within my single member district who are impacted by this. And so I'm asking for a motion, a second to a motion to support this letter.
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, so the motion was made by Commissioner Lucio, seconded by Commissioner Hermes, and passed unanimously. Thank you, commissioners. Okay, Commissioner Holloway, you have an update on the One Hawaii Avenue.
Okay, I will be introducing Mr. Joe Nelson from Wesley Housing. And let me say this before I introduce Mr. Nelson, that we found out today we have an overnight permit going on that has nothing to do with the project with Wesley Housing. But they on schedule to do things as normal, but he should be on the Zoom right now. He's on.
Yeah, this is Joe. Can you guys hear and see me?
Yes,
there I
thank
am.
you,
All
Mr.
right.
Nelson. Good evening. Please
Good
go ahead.
evening. All right, Commissioner Holloway, thanks for inviting me on. I appreciate your support on the project and all of your communication. Thank you, everyone, for having me tonight. Last time I was on in February, we projected to be complete with our project in February of 2026 and start the move-ins at that time. I'm happy to say that as of right now, that's still the goal. We're hoping to start the move-ins mid to late February of 2026. As you've probably seen, the building is looking like a real building at this point in time. We appreciate everyone's patience and definitely do not want to overstay our welcome. We're trying to be as respectful as we can out there, and we will get out of your hair as soon as we can. Thank you, Commissioner Holloway, for also saying up front. I did want to make sure that everyone is aware that there is upcoming overnight work happening in the street in Hawaii Avenue / North Capitol at that little bend. That is not part of our project. It's not our ownership team. It's not the general contractor on site. It's a fully separate project. I do understand it's right next to ours, though. Two other quick things. We've been working Saturdays and a couple of holidays in order to keep track of our schedule. We will be working Indigenous Peoples Day as well on Monday, October 13th. We've agreed to limit our noisy work to the hours of 9 to 5, even though typically permits can be asked for 7 to 7. So we're trying to be as respectful as possible to you all there. Just wanted to see if anybody had any questions on any of the updates on the project.
I have one question. It's actually more for Commissioner Holloway. I just want to confirm with that holiday work on Indigenous Peoples Day, that has been cleared through single member district 5A02 and all the residents there are notified of that.
This is in my single member district.
I'm sorry, not 5A02, your single member district, yes.
I've spoken with the community and a lot of the residents that are trying to come back. I have a lot of seniors that are coming back. So they're very, very revived about them continue to have this work. And it's not a noisy project when they're there. So, the residents didn't have a problem.
Okay, and do you need us to take any action to approve that for them to work on the holidays? In the past, we have written a letter in support of those.
Well, not unless they have to do it again.
Okay.
Because this one is gonna be just, we've already established that. But if we have anything else that's coming closer to the holiday, then I probably would be asking for it.
Yeah, I think we want to try and stick with consistency and procedure. And so if there are future requests for holiday work, just let us know and we're happy to bring that on the agenda and vote on that. And we, as long as the residents are in support of it, typically we've also never had a problem, but we want to just make sure we're being consistent in how we do things. So thank you. Commissioners, do you have other questions about this project? Are there any questions from the audience online or in person? Okay. Commissioner Holloway, anything else?
No.
Thank you, very much, Mr. Nelson. We appreciate.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Okay, next items, Commissioner Alston, could you please give us an update on the McDonald's?
Yes, but before I give you the update on the McDonald's, I just want to say that to public, a public appreciation for Bill Smith. He has been outstanding in the community, especially getting the trees and bushes cut away from the sidewalks that's going down South Dakota Avenue. We've been trying to do that for a long time. So he's taken it upon himself, him and Sabu and a couple of them, they formed the team. He formed the team and they've been working diligently. If you go by there, it's beautiful, really beautiful. And I just want to say publicly, I thank you so much. I hope you're listening, but I really thank you so much, Bill, and your team that's working so hard to do that. And also he's been working on trying to help me get the rat situation controlled over there behind the Chinese store. And there is an alley there that I did not know of, but Bill was so wonderful. He brought that to my attention that place next to the Chinese place where they have the trash bins and stuff, that's a public alley.
It's a paper alley.
Yeah.
It's a paper alley.
Paper alley.
It's a paper alley. We had an investigation when there was a water leak back there several years ago, and we did a land assessment and determined it was a paper alley.
So they are allowed to put their containers with the trash in it?
They are. It's considered a paper alley, and they are.
I have to just look more into that.
Yep.
Offline, okay?
Yeah. Go ahead.
All right, so I just want to say that as far as the McDonald's is concerned, they're doing the very best that they can. They're doing a fantastic job. They've cut all the trees that were hanging over the church. They've cut all those trees away, the trees that were hanging over the neighbor's yard, right across from the empty lot that's next to the McDonald's. They've cut that tree down, and she's very happy about that. and everything that looks really, really good. You might want to go by there and look and see that the yard is great. So thank you so much to McDonald's. McDonald's is probably going to, they're shooting to be open in Thanksgiving Day. They're hoping to be open by Thanksgiving. They're going to be doing a little work in the street in October. And other than that, this week, they're going to start putting in the tile that goes on the floor. Then they'll be working, they're probably going to work on the weekend, but they'll be inside. It's going to be like 2 guys.
Yeah, they're only allowed to work on Saturday. They're not allowed to work on Sunday.
Okay, so if you got, but go by and see the lights, that's what's going on. That's about it.
Commissioner Olson, would you be okay if I shared their report that they send every week?
No. Share it.
Okay.
Share it.
So,
Love for the people to
so
know what's going on.
I see. We'll get to that in a second. So I do want to share the McDonald's sends a weekly report to Commissioner Alston. And the construction activity completed this week. First of all, they say their schedule status is on schedule per their new schedule, per their new schedule. They lost a few days due to weather. They did not have any weather delays. They began hanging drywall, installing roof hydrant, and began sanitary site work. That was completed this past week. They had construction activity anticipated this next week. There's actually this week. Continuing interior drywall, footers for trash coral, continuing sanitary work, and began public space utility work. The inspections completed this week. They had a building insulation inspection completed this week, plumbing rough-in completed this week, and a mechanical ductwork sealant inspection completed this week. The Paramount Pest has restarted service and rat traps to be checked monthly, and counts will be provided. And so they have shared all of that. And then they said retaining wall and brick is forthcoming. So those are the updates. And then I think there's a couple comments and questions in the chat, which I'll let Commissioner Sosa Perconica direct.
I'd like to know if you would be so kind, if you would share that on the website, so the people that weren't here tonight or on the Zoom tonight could also be aware of what's going on.
Yes,
Okay?
I'm happy to share it on the email
Yeah.
with your direction. I hadn't gotten direction from you
Yeah,
previously
yeah.
to share it, so I'm happy to do
Please,
that.
please.
Yep, yes, Commissioner Holloway.
I have a question about the rodent issue that you say you were having. I've used in my SMD since we were 5C5A, Mr. Brown. Now, I don't know whether or not they have their own, Gerard Brown with Department of Health.
Yes.
I don't know whether or not they have their own people that they use, that they work with, but being that it's in the city, we could use him, and I'd be happy to forward all this information to you. So
Yeah,
he does a great job for us
yeah,
in my SMD.
yes, and ours is mine as well. He's
Right.
actually dealing with a problem right now.
Mhm.
Yeah, Mr. Gerard is very, very helpful. So thank you. Okay, Commissioner Sosa Ganica, go ahead. I'm sorry, you have a question? Yeah, go ahead.
She's unmuted.
Okay.
Monica, you can go ahead. First, hello, I'd like to commend everyone for your volunteer efforts, and I wanted to give a shout out to Commissioner Holloway, who spearheaded just the rodent issues on Hawaii Avenue and Victor Place and also Webster Street Northeast. He started that project many years ago during the pandemic, and now we have recently some beautifully paved streets. And so I just want to commend Commissioner Holloway for his efforts to beautify our area and make it a much safer place to live. So thank you all, and thank you, Commissioner Holloway.
Thank you, Monica.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, any other questions related to the McDonald's project? Yes, Mr. Sullivan.
It's my understanding, will one of the curve cuts off of South Dakota Avenue be closed with the new orientation of the McDonald's?
Commissioner?
No.
I can't hear what you're saying.
Can you repeat your question?
One
please?
of the curve cuts, the driveway entrances, will that be, one of them be closed out, eliminated? Thank you.
So you were asking if one of the driveways that goes on South Dakota Avenue be eliminated, when, now or when it opens?
when it opens. So
When it
currently there are 3 of them right now. And I believe they were supposed to eliminate one of them, so it's only 2.
I will have.
No, they're scheduled for 3.
Yeah, thank you, Ms. Harmon. The plans do say 3.
3
Commissioner,
complete on the one on the side
Three
street.
complete egresses, yes.
3. If the plans are on the website, and so that, I believe that shows that, correct?
Yeah.
President Williams?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
I have a question. I can't get my hand raised, but I do have a question.
Okay, go ahead, please. Go ahead.
The question I have, Elaine, did you send the approval to Eileen for the work, the inside work? She was looking for the approval from you?
Yes, I did.
Okay. I mean, you didn't send anything to the community, so I didn't know. Thank you.
I just found that she just told me today.
Okay, so is there a letter that we need to
No.
approve of?
No.
Okay,
If I'm
okay.
not-
Commissioner Thomas, go ahead.
Yeah, Ronald McDonald, before they could do all this, they got all the license, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
So there's no more need to get a license for this alley.
The paper, that paper alley has
Yeah.
existed forever. There's nothing they're gonna do with that alley.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Let's move on.
Yeah, okay. President Williams, do you have other questions? Or are you good?
I'm good. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Are there other questions?
Thank you, Tom.
Okay, and there's a question in the audience and she will need the mic.
Thank you. Can you clarify, earlier, previously you were saying when DDOT was closing the street for Buchanan, there was a letter that needed to be sent?
Are we backing up a different topic?
Well, I'm asking for clarification because McDonald's closes that street too.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
is the process
Got it. Yes, so.
that a
so-
letter is necessary?
Yes, so they were asked, yes, so there is a process for when you close the street, especially to notify the neighbors of 2 people within 200 feet. And then,
Okay.
with this project, they were told that we had to get approval from the ANC for them to move forward.
Because the most recent no parking signs that they put up was backdated to August 1st and it's through October 20th. And they put them up after, I believe they put them up September 13th.
And did they notify any of the people within 200 feet that they were going to be doing this prior to them doing it?
Not to my knowledge.
Yeah, that's not typically customary. There should be notification to the residents within 200 feet prior to any type of road closure.
Well, I guess closure hasn't started yet. The no parking is up for that entire period from 9 to 3:30. And you can see the markings on the street that was just repaved in August. That's going to be cut up again. But
Yeah, Commissioner
so there
Alston-
should be a letter.
Okay, Commissioner Austin's going to check on that. Thank you. There's a question in the back behind it.
I'll get back.
All right, how you doing? I have a question about the you said the bushes that were cut on South Dakota in front of what was that, the Curry Out and down from like the McDonald's?
In front of the church.
Okay,
Church
yeah.
property.
Right.
Retaining
Those are cut when? Do you know?
I know they were cutting them Saturday, and they've been cutting them before then.
You said Saturday?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm only asking because I was walking through there earlier this evening, maybe 2 hours ago.
Mhm.
And they're all along the sidewalk still there. So is there a point that they're going to remove them or how is that going to work?
What do you mean? They're long? You mean the trash from the?
No, the trash bags, the trees, the branches, the leaves, they're all in the sidewalk, on the grass part, all along the church, all along the
Along
sidewalk.
the church, yeah.
They're just sitting there.
I have called downtown. I have an appointment with somebody from the mayor's office to see how we can get those things removed.
Gotcha.
And one thing that I did indicate to Bill is if he puts them at the trash containers, they pick the trash, they will pick it up every night. I again will make a call tomorrow. I got the notice from Bill tonight to see about having them picked up tomorrow.
Great. Thank
Okay.
you. And I'd also suggest, Commissioner Alston, that you reach out to Oliver in the council member's office. He can help you with this.
Okay.
So Oliver's
you.
our point of contact. in the-
Oliver, okay.
Yeah, he's the person we should be reaching out to in the council member's office. Okay. Okay, one more question
That's trash, right? Okay, yes.
from Bill.
Oh, I have another question.
Okay.
Well, it's not a question, it's a plea, you know. As I said, Bill is taking this upon himself. He lives in the community. So if you live in the community and you would like to join that team to help clean up the church, we would be more than happy to have you because he's trying to do mostly everything by himself. And he's a senior citizen. And Sabu, he's a senior citizen too. Sabu is actually putting the debris in his truck, his personal truck. Like you drive down the street, he's putting it in there and he's taking that to the dump. So if you can help in any way, help cut something down, help something pick something up, he would love to have your help.
Thank you, Commissioner Alston. Okay, final comment from Bill, and then we're going to move on.
Okay, can y'all hear me?
Yes, thank you, Bill. Go ahead.
Okay.
And thank you so much for all of your help with this. We really appreciate
Yeah.
it.
No, I would have been there tonight, but I got sick Saturday night. But that's okay. The bag of trash that the gentleman mentioned earlier, there's been a lot of back and forth with DC government. I hate to say this, as far as getting city services done. And I was under the impression on Friday that stuff would have been gone by 6 o'clock Sunday, but it didn't happen. But and I'm glad to learn that I could have left it at the bus stop down there at Decatur. But in the future, we'll handle this stuff a different way. And there was a lot of miscommunication as far as getting rid of that debris. We're trying to use city services that we're entitled to as taxpaying citizens. I just got my home, what is it? Anyway, but there's been a lot of ups and downs and a lot of back and forth, but it's going to be straightened out by the next time around. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Bill. All right, we're gonna take one last question from Cheryl. Yep, from Cheryl, and then that's it. We need to move on.
Again, I'd like to thank Bill for everything that he's doing. Also, Bill, when Bill sends the pictures, sometimes I'll just call. That's how I help. I call downtown, and I did call about those bags. I did find out that they consider it illegal dumping, but the gentleman on the phone said that he was going to put a 311 ticket in, and another agency was supposed to come and get it. I just did that today, and hopefully with everybody doing everything, we'll get it up. But I just wanted, I didn't get a chance to talk with Bill today, but they do consider that illegal dumping.
Thank you. And what I would suggest for anybody who sends in a 311 ticket like that is to share that 311 confirmation number you get with your ANC commissioner, and then have your ANC commissioner forward that on to our points of, we all have points of contact at the various agency. We have a spreadsheet list of all of our points of contacts at the various agencies, so we can reach out to them directly. And so, for example, like Commissioner Holloway said, if someone submits a 311 rat infestation issue, here I would reach out to Mr.
Mr. Brown.
Thank you, Mr. Brown, and send that to him, and then it helps move things along a little bit quicker. So please send that to Commissioner Alston, and she can email them and get that taken care of. Okay, thank you so much. And Commissioner Alston, you are up next with an update on the ABCA Clinical Solutions, and if you need support from Commissioner Emez, we can do that as well. Would you like to give an update though on where the status of that is?
Well, Jack, would you,
Commissioner Emez.
Sure, happy to.
Can you use the mic, please?
Well, I guess in summary, so far the big theme that we've had is, we may have lost a couple battles, but the war is far, far, far from over. As everyone knows, the first sort of battle or whatever, the first thing we lost was we were not given the party status in the application, which we were very disappointed and confused by. We went back and talked to general counsel, a couple of attorneys. I spoke to someone at ABCA. We found out that they've only accepted, I think it was 2 ANCs the entire year as party status. as a result of a law that was signed last year by the council, sponsored by Councilmember McDuffie, to make it very, very difficult for ANCs to get standing. We knew that, eventually we were going to have to go to the DC Court of Appeals, but before we do that, we have to make a couple motions just to get ourselves reinstated. We knew that those were going to get rejected, but again, just procedurally, we had to go back and make those motions before we go to the DC Court of Appeals. So where we're at right now is now having both of our motions for reconsideration, as we expected, shot down and denied. We have sort of two things that we're working on. The first is actually that appeal to the DC Court of Appeals. That itself cannot come from the ANC. That has to come from constituents. So I'm going to sign my name on. I invite and everyone else on the ANC, and of course you guys, constituents, to sign on to that as well, because that cannot come from the ANC itself. We don't have the right to sue. And we have the attorney from ANC5A, Ms. Carrie Verdi, and her partner that are going to help us write all of that up. And actually, as well, General Counsel Denise Whitaker would like to get involved, which sort of leads me into the next thing, which is that we're going to be sending a letter to the DC Council with the support of our wonderful council member Parker, sort of outlining this whole process and the way that ABCA's acted that's inappropriate. So I'll sort of outline the main ideas of this letter, and this will also sort of outline what's the main premise of our argument before the DC Court of Appeals, which we and our attorney feel is very, very strong at this time. The first thing being that ANCs under the DC Home Rule Act, DC Code 1-30910D, also 25601A4, 25609A, basically give ANCs automatic party status under Home Rule. And so whatever the council tried to do last year to make it more difficult, it's actually a violation of that law. And now that ABCA's taken it to the extreme of literally only allowing, we think, again, 2 ANCs to become party status the entire year, we're going to now ask, in the case of this, we're asking the actual council to overturn what they did last year. But then the second fallout option is we'll have the DC Court of Appeals basically rule that this is not legal under DC Home Rule, what they passed last year. This is something that I know that the General Counsel, Denise Whitaker, feels very, very powerful about and very, very strong about, because so many ANCs have complained and had the exact same thing that we just had. Then I guess going to specific things that they've done. In this case, obviously due process violation. We have a bunch of cases sorted out. We'll make sure to get this letter out. It looks very, very polished and professional, written by our attorney. One, the defective notices, as everyone knows, under DC Code, it's 802.1 states that play cards have to accurately reflect information provided by the board. We received 2 different play card notices. Neither of them contained proper, accurate information. For some reason, the board decided that doesn't really matter. The DC Code doesn't matter, so we're gonna outline that. Second thing, hearing rights. There is a precedent in a court case. It's called Mullane versus Central Hanover Bank Trust, and basically the DC Court of Appeals ruled that we have the right to actually present at these meetings, which they denied Ms. Alston that right when they denied our party motion. And then, of course, the third thing being the denial of hearing notice. We filed these motions for reconsideration, and all of a sudden we get notified, oh, by the way, we just ruled on it. And your notice was this 35-page paper that we published on the website, which of course none of us are going to be looking through all of that. Third thing, their arbitrary denial for failure to parrot statutory language. Effectively, the protest requirements that are required, we did state things within the general public safety, traffic safety, but what they were basically asking for us when they returned it was we did not cite verbatim what they have in their version of DC Code. It's just unrealistic. There's no precedent at all legally where you can require someone to have to stick to the rigid, specific, exact phrasing. It's just bad faith is really what it is. 4, misleading information on ABCA's website, even weeks now, I guess it's months, we can update that. After expressing this concern to the board, their board code on the website still lists ANCs being proximate to daycare centers as a reason for protest. They still have it on their website. although apparently that's been overturned. It's no longer a reason for protest, but they seemingly, even though we've told them, are still leaving that on the website. It just seems sort of dishonest at this point that months after repeatedly telling them about this concern that they're keeping it up. And from what I understand from our general counsels, that other ANCs have fallen for the same, I don't want to assume guilt here, but trap that's being set. And so with all that considered, we're basically asking, one, immediate relief for them to reverse ABCA's illegal dismissal. Two, basically undo what they did last year on the council, which was making it ANCs really, really hard for them, for us to have that right. Number three, to have an oversight hearing, which is basically where we can go in and we can talk to them about other changes that need to happen so that stuff like this don't happen. And four, of course, the website corrections, that there's no longer dishonest information on a government agency's website. So with all that, again, we have so much more to go. I mean, another big thing behind this is like, the more that we just lengthen this process, make it tougher for this dispensary to try and come in, we've lengthened it out now months and months, maybe it'll be a year. Ideally, eventually they say, okay, this is just not worth the fight, let's go somewhere else. And so we're not going to stop fighting. We're going to keep fighting as hard as possible. And of course, really, really welcome the community's input on how we can do that. I know Ms. Alston is also planning, we want to do a second in-person protest, and we're going to do that with even bigger numbers. I've already reached out to a couple media organizations. We're going to get them there. We're going to have them showing, what's happening right now, which is that Ward 5 is being viewed as dumping grounds for these dispensaries, and it's just not okay.
Thank you, Commissioner. Let me just say one thing, Commissioner Alston, just to clarify one thing. So there are two things going on here. We are still working with the attorney. We had approved funds up to a certain limit in working with the attorney. And if I'm not mistaken, we did get the assistance grant from OANC, correct? Okay, so we also have that to answer a couple of questions that were in the chat. And so we are doing that simultaneously while we are presenting this letter to the city council, correct? And so one of the things we're going to vote on tonight is a letter with all the points that Commissioner Mez mentioned that will go to the city council. I have actually spoken to Council Member Parker, and so he is willing to push this agenda item forward once he and his council members receive the letter from us. Commissioner Alston.
Thank you so much. Jack and I, we've been working with Parker just about the whole summer to try to get this taken care of. But I just want to say to Ward 5 residents, we need to let these people know who we have elected officials. There's no more free ticket, free ride. If you can't help the citizens in Ward 5 who elected you, then maybe you should think about their votes, because voting time is coming up. And we want somebody who actually wants to help us do what we need to do. Not only to Parker, I've sent letters to Eleanor Holmes Norton, I've sent letters to the district attorney, the attorney general, the mayor, a whole lot of people. So they know exactly what's going on.
Thank you, Ms. Alston. One other question from the chat, just to make clear, we have spent about $3,000 on attorney fees. 1,500 of that was reimbursed to us, or is being reimbursed to us through that grant. Go ahead, Mr. Thomas.
I want to thank Commissioner Jackson and Ms. Alston. You're fighting we're all fighting the same battle. But a lot of citizens don't understand how this process works. You start off with your city council member, as you mentioned, and in this case here, the city council member lives in Ward 5. You look at the ABC board. The ABC board has 7 board members, and 3 of them live in Ward 5. Okay. If you look at the ABC board, the day they had this hearing, they had already met earlier before they went on air, and they had already decided they were going to pass these things. Look at Ward 1 and 2. They have dumped these things all in 1 and 2. So now they have to move them out to different wards. And so now Ward 5, 7 are the target wards for these cameras. If you look at our last week, I think it was 2 weeks ago when they passed, it was like 8 of them. maybe 2 will survive. They all pass them, let them pay the licenses and go out there and fend for yourself. So they don't survive. They will not survive. The place on South Dakota, it's going to take them an awful lot just to open the front door. And it's going to take them an awful lot to maintain, and they won't survive. So we have to keep fighting. As Ms. Austin mentioned, the election's coming up. We have to remember these things. They want you to vote for them. They're not looking out for your best interest. This is not a dumping ground. And so we have to let them know that. So once again, thank you, both council. Austin, and we should thank you for keeping for working hard. I know the community was frustrated, but it's a frustrating process. And it's very frustrating, and it's new to us because this is the first time I think. Second time we had one of these.
Yeah, we did it with the liquor store earlier, but Apca's a little
But that was a
different.
liquor store.
That was a liquor-
That's
that was a
totally
liquor store.
different. Liquor
But
store,
let me
different.
also just clarify
Sure.
one thing. While we do have 3 council members on the city council from Ward 5, it was one of those council members,
Yeah.
Councilmember McDuffie,
Yeah.
who proposed this and passed this, got this legislation passed that has posed this challenge to us. So, we, I
These
don't
people live in
know.
Ward 5,
Yeah, so just to be clear
not
on
for
that.
re-election.
And-
Yeah.
But,
Yeah.
yeah, he's at large. But Commissioner Austin, did you have something else to add?
Also, let's make it clear for the record. Now, he's
So-
not a Democrat. He's not a Republican.
I
He's
also-
independent.
I also just want to make notice that there is a corrected notice placard on the building today regarding the license that was just sent to me. President Williams, do you want to just elaborate on what is on that? Since I'm just reading it now for the first time.
I took a picture of it this afternoon, and you can just read what's there because I haven't had time to digest it either.
Yeah,
took
it's
the
just
other
an
day.
update notice. And Commissioner Alston, it was sent
It's
to
a
you as well.
corrected notice for the license.
Okay, it's a corrected notice for the license. So Commissioner Alston, can you please check into that?
And,
See what-
I'll
just
go by there.
observation, the build out is pretty far along. I drove by there and spoke to the contractor 2 days ago. That it's almost finished on the inside, or the drywall.
Yeah. Okay.
And they do have a location on 12th Street where they actually write the prescriptions out. So they want to come to South Dakota Avenue to get them filled.
Okay, all right. So Commissioner Mez,
It's a person.
there's a question that caught back and the 2 questions, and then I think we're gonna move to a motion, correct? Thank you.
All right. My question is, as the gentleman said, they seem to be pretty far along in the process. So where are we as far as if this actually does get to the point where they open up and they're there? Where are we with as far as working with them? Have we started the process of figuring out how we can work with them instead of still figuring out how we can not have them open up if they actually do open up? Have we already done that, or have we started, or
We
what's going on
haven't,
with that?
mostly because it's gonna, again, appealing through the DC Court of Appeals and all that will probably take a couple months. My opinion is that if by some means they do open up, our working with them will be, at least for me, I'm gonna go down there with a sign every morning. I'm gonna bring a bunch of my friends from Catholic University and I'm gonna protest there every single day, and I'm gonna refuse to work with people who view this ward as a secondary nature. So at least to me, I don't see any point in working with them. I'm going to protest, be disruptive, whatever is possible against that.
Let me just also add that when a group of us met with the attorneys after we lost one of the earlier appeals, and we had a decision to make, right? Whether or not we wanted to go the route of working with them as you're suggesting, or fighting this. And the overwhelming consensus is to fight this. And we did not feel as though we could do both simultaneously. Because we felt as though if we were working with them, we could not then have leverage in terms of fighting with them to get what we really wanted.
Got you. I mean, and that does make a sense. The only thing is that I know a few meetings ago I was here, and there was talks about about signage and about this and that, and working with them. So that's why I'm asking, because like you said, it seems that it's pretty far along, and it's looking like it's going to happen. more
Yeah.
than that, to be honest.
Yeah, I wouldn't be
So,
surprised if it.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
I mean, so I do think at some point we still gotta, figure out how we can make the best of it, I guess you can say. So
Got 2 more questions and then yes, then we're gonna have a motion from Commissioner Emma.
I just want to make the same comment I've made in the past. You're talking about going there and protesting every day they're open. You're ignoring the tobacco store that's right next to it and the landlord that is allowing and encouraging and supporting these types of businesses in the community. And so I think, these one-offs, you needed to do more to address the larger issue, because simply doing the protests against the dispensary and again, ignoring the tobacco shop that's right next to it. It's the landlord.
Yeah, I know Bill's spoken a lot about that, the one cigarette shop. I know someone brought up the idea of doing a boycott against the landlord in general. That's another option. I think we're also planning to send a letter to the landlord. We've been trying to reach out to them. They've been horrible. They're just basically blowing us off. And so, 2 can play that game.
I'm gonna just say that we used to have a really, or at least when that was in my single member district, I actually had a really good working relationship with that owner and would talk to him regularly. I tried reaching out to him multiple times to connect him to Commissioner Alston and given her his contact information. He's not responded to either one of us. So at this point, he has just stopped working with us. He did work with us at one point in time. If you remember the ice cream shop that was supposed to come in or the pizza place, and he worked with us then, and he worked with us when we dealt with the other alcohol, the liquor store. But he's not dealt with us since then. And we worked with him on the water issue when there was that water issue. Cheryl, and that's the last question.
First, I'd like to I commend you all on the work that you're doing, and I do want to apologize for my rants, my letters, and so forth and so on, because I cannot digest an agency that is breaking their own laws. So I called, I'm sorry, I called McDuffie's office, I called Parker's office. So now my question is, if they are in the mayor's office too, and the mayor is well aware of these issues with ABCA, I found out today. My issue is, what can we do when an agency breaks their own laws? Because they are doing that.
Cheryl, I think, and I don't mean to cut you off, we really need to move on. We're working on that, right? That's part of the goal of this letter is to address that through the city council, to let them know that ABCA is not adhering to what they're supposed to be, and this is not working the way it's supposed to.
And if they don't, and again, thank you for all of your efforts too. We really appreciate passionate community members. If they don't do that, then DC Court of Appeals. We sort of have like the 2-headed storm going on.
Yep. So Commissioner Perez, do you want to make the motion, please?
I'll make a motion that we send a letter to the DC Council regarding the unfortunate circumstances of this ABCA case and ANC's right to automatic party status.
Okay, second from Commissioner Holloway. All in favor? Opposed? Okay, unanimously it passes. Thank you very much. And we will get that letter. And as soon as we have that letter finalized and signed, it will be put on the website for everybody to see.
Thank you.
Okay, it's my understanding we do not have representation from the mayor's office. However, we do have Adriana from the Councilmember Parker's office on the call. Good evening.
Good evening. I'm not sure.
How are
if
you
can-
tonight, Adriana?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Good. So thank you so much for hosting Ward 5 Day. I know I was there for several hours with my event that I put together, and I know that I ran into a couple other commissioners there. So I think you can tell Councilmember Parker, I thought it was a very successful event. The community seemed to enjoy it.
Thank you. I'll start off with that. Thanks to everyone who stopped by at Ward 5 Day. I hope you enjoyed that day. It took a lot of work, but I'm glad everybody enjoyed it. I also want to thank Commissioner Lucio for helping coordinate the Youth Entrepreneurship Fair. The kids said they got a lot of sales and they really enjoyed going out there and networking. So I think that was a great thing.
I've already had people say that they want to come back next year, and I've had some new people who said they were just visiting who said, oh, I want to do this next year. So we're going to twice as many tables next year. That's my goal.
Oh, so here are my announcements. They're pretty brief. The council had a legislative meeting on September 17th, where they took the second and final vote to approve the RFK redevelopment deal. They also took the second and final vote on the Rental Act. More details about those bills and the various amendments from the meeting are available in our most recent newsletter. DHCD was going to hold a Ward 5 listening session at Woodbridge Library on Monday, but canceled last minute. We have communicated with the agency about the need for better communication and will update neighbors when the listening session is rescheduled. That's all the announcements I have. I was listening in on the meeting about the rat abatement and also the escalation of agencies. If you ever need any assistance with that, you can also email me and I'll be happy to assist you. I can't drop anything in the chat, but if you go to our website, my email and my phone number is there. And if anybody has any questions or concerns, I'm happy to answer them.
Thank you, Andrea. If you want to send it to Commissioner Sosa Garnica, she can put it in the chat, or if you can share it with everybody.
Gotcha.
Okay, are there any questions from the commissioners for the council member's office?
I just want to, this is Commissioner Austin. We've talked several times about a meeting with Councilmember Parker. Can you give me a date now?
I can't give you a date right now, but I can call you tomorrow morning and we can talk about a date.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. His scheduler. Okay. Okay, thank you, Andriana. Appreciate it.
Had a great time,
You're welcome.
Adriana.
Okay. All right. So next we have on our agenda, we have one presentation tonight from Metro DSA. Connor Laughlin is going to present an update on Council Bill 260202. Connor, welcome.
Hello there. Thank you so much for having me tonight.
Did you have slides for your presentation?
Yes, I absolutely do.
Can you please make sure you send those slides to Commissioner Sosa Garnica so she can share them on the website, please?
Yes.
Thank you.
Will do. Okay. Then I will go ahead and share my screen. I will try to keep this nice and short. I know you all have been very patiently attending to everyone here. So, okay. Okay, great. Okay, should be able to put that down. Sorry about that. 1 second. Okay, great. Cool. So my name is Connor Laughlin, and I'm a volunteer with the Green New Deal for Social Housing Coalition, and I'm really excited to chat with you all about the social housing bill that was first put forth in the DC City Council by Janice Lewis George in 2023. It's received 2 hearings, and we anticipate one more hearing in the next 2 or 3 months, which is why we have been so excitedly reaching back out to ANCs that have previously received presentations. Okay. So I will be addressing 3 primary questions here. First of which is how DC has historically addressed affordable housing. 2, what the social housing model is and how it differs from the existing models. And 3rd, what exactly the Green New Deal for Social Housing bill entails and what kind of funding mechanisms we're trying to pursue. So we all know that DC has been in a housing crisis and needs innovative new solutions. Despite the best efforts by the last few successive administrations in DC, we've seen homelessness, displacement, and affordability arise as really significant barriers to people living in the city. And we, among most American cities, I think, are ready to look for more non-market based solutions in tandem with the justified call for increasing building of homes as fast as possible. So historically DC has addressed affordability in a variety of ways. The first and best known as DC's inclusionary zoning. This requires that most new residential developments include at least some affordable units, usually between 8 to 12% of floor space, and these address between 50 and 80% of the area median income. The low income housing tax credit program, which is the largest federal tax program to go towards housing. In exchange for an annual federal tax credit, it locks in a certain percent of affordable units for about 30 years. These are covenants that, when they expire, do often leave a pretty significant gap in the number of available units. So they're not, this isn't as reliable. And in addition to it, only addressing those who have about 60% AMI. And the largest in DC is the Housing Production Trust Fund, boasting about $100 million. And it provides low-cost loans and grants to developers to help build and preserve affordable homes. Unfortunately, it has struggled to meet the requirement that 50% of funds are used to create deeply affordable housing, as can be seen in the table on the upper right here, showing that despite the same, if not more, spending on an annual basis, the actual yield of deeply affordable units has decreased. And then lastly, we have public and Section 8 housing. Combined, this covers almost 25,000 units. Many of them are in disrepair and also rely on subsidies that require the Congress to reapprove the budget on an annual basis, which makes them very susceptible to defunding. So what is social housing, and why are we bringing it up in contrast to other forms of public housing? So first and most importantly, it's publicly owned. DC would be both the developer and the landlord. Being the developer would enable it to take advantage of significantly lower interest rates. And the second and most defining feature of social housing is its majority subsidized minority market rate model. This basically means that a smaller number of market rate units would directly subsidize the more deeply affordable units, which does two things. The first is that these buildings would be self-funding, right? So they wouldn't be susceptible to the same kind of defunding of subsidies that other public housing models would. And secondly, it would help decluster wealth and poverty, right? This would be a mixed income community, which would be prioritizing long-term living according to your income at the time. Because we all know that incomes fluctuate, and being able to avoid eviction is always preferable. Thirdly, it would be nonprofit or limited profit. This means that all of the proceeds would return either directly to the maintenance of the building or to the creation of more via the social housing fund. Tenants would also have direct democratic control of their building management. There would be a tenant association right off the bat in every building, which means that they would have full control over removing or replacing management. And this is popular all over the world, most notably in Vienna and Singapore, but we don't have to look that far to see a similar model being implemented in Montgomery County, where they're now boasting almost 500 units of a public-private partnership acquired affordable units. And this is an expanding movement in the US. There are cities that are only just now studying the economic feasibility of it, like NYC and the state of California. There are others like Boston that have created their social housing development board but have yet to acquire the funding. And then we have a city like Seattle, which has not only created a social housing board in 2023, but actually just passed in April a payroll tax that would yield $53 million in perpetuity and earmarked exclusively for social housing. So cities are identifying this as a crisis that requires very innovative solutions, and the public are willing to support progressive taxes to help fund it. So what is the Green New Deal for social housing, and how would it fit into the landscape of DC? So firstly, it would create a new agency called the Office of Social Housing. This agency would not only buy property, but also use existing property. It would manage them and hire building services. And it would also have minimal to major kind of operational oversight with the help of tenants for the building maintenance. So in terms of the administration, tenant leadership boards would be empowered to review and authorize their property management contracts. And a new social housing coordinating council would be composed of multiple stakeholders, drawing from housing experts, public officials, but most importantly, having a majority stake from tenants who live in these buildings. And this is very similar to what Seattle has been implementing now. In terms of sustainability, we wanted this to align with DC's climate goals. So all of the buildings would be electrified and retrofitted with solar panels. The buildings would be prioritized in very transit accessible parts of the city, not only to cater more to working class DC residents, but also to reduce car usage. And it would prioritize union labor, as we're very intentionally building a coalition with them. So the affordability of social housing, this will vary, right? Based off of the kind of funding mechanisms that we're able to leverage, and also what each individual building looks like and what the income distribution is. But this is a breakdown that it could not be matched by a private landlord. So a goal here being about 40% market rate, 30% being catering to 31 to 81% of AMI, and then the remaining 30% targeting those who are in the 30% AMI bracket or below. Obviously, affordability is the priority here, because all of the profits will be going directly back into the maintenance of the buildings. So in terms of the current proposed funding mechanisms that are codified in the bill, the largest contribution would come from the Housing Production Fund. 10% of it, which is about 10 million a year. The board would also establish capital and operating reserve funds for emergency maintenance. And lastly, they would apply for federal, local, or private government grants and loans. Now, we are under no illusion that $10 million is enough to scale a project like this, which is why we have to include in this conversation using our political capital to advocate for taxation. And so with that, some future funding mechanisms include a mansion tax, which would add a higher marginal rate for expensive properties bought and sold, as well as property taxes for DC's most valuable homes. On the table, the table on the right shows what a relatively small 1% surcharge on homes worth more than $2 million might yield annually. $74 million for one tax seems like a pretty reasonable fight. But secondly, DC could issue bonds in accordance with our code. His would match the Montgomery County revolving door funding model. And then lastly, we could employ progressive payroll tax or other kinds of progressive taxes like Seattle is currently pursuing. And in that case in Seattle, there's a 1% tax on all incomes over $1 million, which $50 million for 1 year would absolutely be enough for a very strong social housing pilot in DC. So as of now, we have co-sponsors in the council, and we're obviously looking to expand that. And our campaigns right now include our grassroots canvassing and public education, our membership for group engagement and onboarding, and what I'm doing right now, which is a part of our coalition building, trying to bridge the divide between the labor unions, teachers unions, some other advocacy groups, and ANCs. The purpose of the intended purpose of these presentations are both to get ANCs to pass resolutions in support of social housing, in addition to just kind of facilitating more conversation about how we can better include the kind of political and zoning priorities of each ANC. And our coalition is only expanding by the day. We have a combination of housing justice orgs, social advocacy orgs, as well as labor unions. So, and I know that I really realized that was quite a lot of information for only 15 minutes. So I wanted to leave you all with a few kind of standout points here for why we advocate for social housing. First being that public ownership equals permanent affordability, right? Social housing stays affordable forever, unlike time-limited private affordable units. Mixed income model equals financial sustainability. Higher earners help subsidize lower income rents, thus reducing the need for ongoing subsidies, which makes them a lot less subject to administrations changing funding on a whim. There are stronger tenant protections. Residents have more stability, rights, and control over their management. And lastly, there's no profit motive because the focus is on the community needs and kind of social cohesion. This will lead to an an improved sense of community and significantly your building upkeep. So, thank you so much for listening to my presentation tonight. And if you have any questions or concerns, I am ready to screen any of your questions.
Great. Thank you, Connor. That was really informative. And I think that, as you've probably heard from earlier tonight, with all the housing development that's going on in this area, I think that's very valuable information. And for those of us who have housing developments, I have one, Commissioner Thomas has one. I think there's a lot of very valuable information in there that we can use when we're working with the developers on these projects. And we appreciate that.
Yeah.
Commissioners, do you have any other questions for Connor?
Could that be sent to us?
Yeah, yeah. So, I'd ask you already to make sure to send that to Garnica, and then we'll post it on the website and shared with the commissioners. So, any questions from people in the audience? Either online or in person? Okay, anybody else have questions? Okay, thank you so much. We appreciate that.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Yes,
Have a good night.
okay. We have about 5 minutes left. And so are there any other comments or questions from people in the community related to anything you want to use this time for? Yeah. Yeah. Okay, hold on. Okay, we'll get to that. Go ahead.
Can I go? Oh,
Go ahead. Yeah, she's working on it. Go ahead.
on October 16th.
Oh no, I'm sorry. I'm talking to. Sorry, we're taking commission. Hold on. Before we'll do announcements just a minute. Go ahead. Did you tell her to go? Yeah, go ahead. Thank you. Is that you, Jenna?
Yes, thank you. I have just a few comments. So my understanding is that the budget is supposed to be made available for review by residents before the ANC votes to approve it. That was just my understanding. My second question is, when will the website be updated with the grant application? I'm still like very perplexed that the ANC is giving out money with very outdated guidelines and a very outdated application on the website. That is just wildly improper. And then the third thing is, I would just really encourage the ANC to take processes and procedures a little more seriously, because I think that will prevent issues on the back end. So for example, with the large tract review process, the ANC is entitled to submit a report. And instead, the ANC submitted a conceptual letter of support before Boys Town even really did anything. And in that that conceptual letter of support, it specifically said that there will be proposed 10% IZ homes or 17 homes. And then tonight, we have commissioners asking them for more than that, when the ANC already submitted a letter basically saying they were fine with 17 homes, because the ANC didn't bother to issue a real formal report to the Office of Planning after Boys Town made further refinements to their plan. And so again, I just think the ANC, I know this is a volunteer job. You all are taking a lot of time as it is. I just want to encourage you all to really be mindful of what the proper procedures are for things, so that, things can run a little more smoothly on the front and back ends. Thank you.
Thank you, Jenna. So let me address a couple of things you said real quick. So in terms of the budget was shared with the commissioners in advance, and we will be sharing it with the community. It will be posted on the website, and that's typically what we've done as per our procedure. In terms of the grant update on the website, you are correct. That should have been updated a while ago. We are aware of it and we have already notified, I believe we're in the process of notifying the web company, and we will be updating that as quickly as possible. So that will be updated as quickly as possible. As far as a large tract review, it's my understanding from when we did that in the first place, since that was a probationary letter, that we will be issuing a follow-up letter once we have a community benefits package in place, correct, Commissioner Thomas?
That's correct.
Yep. So we will be doing that. I do appreciate you looking out for that issue of the IZ homes and reminding us of what we had done. So I do appreciate that. But we will make sure to be consistent with that once we have the final letter from the ANC in place with the community benefits package. So thank you, Chen. I always appreciate you keeping us on our toes. So I appreciate that. Okay, other questions? Monica.
Yes, thank you so much. This is a kind of different issue, but I am appreciative of the social housing presentation. But I do want to put on the floor that, in my opinion, of course, the issue with affordable housing is dynamic relative to developer investment. But in my opinion, it's also about the lack of support that the district shows for landlords. Because the landlord is already assumed to be the devil. And so I think just having some standards for tenants would be very helpful for all of us. And, you know, as 517,000 people have lost jobs, and I don't know how many in the district, I think, you know, just to make it amenable for residents to start business in the District of Columbia, you know, would be wonderful. Because right now you're going through so many hoops, it's so much bureaucracy, and it's just, you know, I just don't think it's conducive. And it would be wonderful for us to work together as a team to see how we can get our city council to support DC residents as small business owners and, you know, have landlords have some real support. Thank you.
I appreciate that, Monica. And, you know, it's been a while since we've met in person. And so one of the things we could think about is hosting a meeting and seeing if we could get Councilmember Parker to attend to hear questions and concerns from residents on these issues. So we will look to do that in the future. So thank you. Yeah, Commissioner Harris.
I want to second everything that was said there. I couldn't agree more. I mean, I think it's somewhat, and this is something we should propose to the council or whoever's involved in this. It's ridiculous that private citizens have to come here because they want to do some minor extension on their home. I mean, they're property owners. People are landlords. It should be their right to do these things without having to going to BZA and the ANC and the council and all these steps. And so I would second that and definitely look forward to meeting with the council to hopefully fix all this bureaucracy, to use your own term.
Yes.
I'd just like to thank Ms. Washington, who's going to be a big part of our civic association. She's very informative and always on point, and I really appreciate her getting on with us tonight.
Thank you. Okay, last comment from Bill, and then we're going to take a point of information from Commissioner Sellers.
Oh, no, I lowered my hand. Nothing to say. I'm done.
Thank you. Okay, Mr. Sellers, and then that is the last word.
Thank you. On October 16th here at UDC, Lamont Riggs Citizen Association's Development Task Force will be hosting a meeting here with the National Park Service. The purpose of this meeting is to get better communication and expectations of how they can service better with Fort Totten and Fort Circle Park, just as overall general maintenance, some issues with the pathway between Galloway and Gallatin Street, updated maintenance on shelters on Fort Circle Park, and just basic trash removal. So that meeting will be here in person as part of Lamont Riggs Citizen Association's Development Task Force, which I also happen to be co-chair at 6 p.m.
Great.
In addition to that, just wanted to give a shout out to our partners at UDC Community College for hosting us here. in this auditorium. This is our first meeting that we've had in person since, I guess, about 4 years since before the pandemic. I also wanted to give a shout out to Commissioner Shayla Bakun, for helping me with the logistics of this meeting. It was a lot of heavy lifting behind the scenes, as well as my neighbor, Aaron, who's helped with AV today. So thank you very much.
Thank you all. I appreciate all the hard work that went into making this meeting happen tonight. I know being the only commissioner in this group who was part of the commission prior to COVID, I know others have been commissioners previously, but most recently right as COVID was happening. So I do appreciate that. So thank you for all the hard work from everybody. I know this took a lot of effort on everybody's part in different ways. And thank you to the community for your patience. We are still working out some of the kinks of being a hybrid meeting, but it is fully our intention to be hybrid so that we can allow those residents who are not able to leave their homes for various reasons, either mobility challenges, health reasons, or childcare reasons, so that they are able to fully attend and participate as well. But also give the opportunity for people who want to be here in person. So thank you all very much. We appreciate it. Can I get a motion to adjourn?
I make a motion to adjourn.
Thank you. It is 8:50 p.m. and we are adjourned. Thank you so much, everyone. Have a good night.